Okay, so today on The Balanced Life, we're going to be talking about questioning your perceptions. All of us come into a decision or a scenario or an experience with a set of biases and backgrounds and opinions and thoughts that will shape the way we both perceive something and the decisions we make as a result of that. And so, what I'm trying to do in this is we're thinking about ways to come out better on the other side of this recession or to work through what's happening if you're experiencing a downturn, if you're experiencing the effects of like the increased prices, the lack of supply, and things like that. If we want to come out better on the other side and learn things from this that will help us long term, not just about buying a house or buying a car or buying gold or silver, but really to become a changed person for the better, we have to start out with realizing what it is that we already think and believe and perceive and how that's influencing us. So there was a quote, I quote it often, but I have no idea who said it. I heard it in a business school about 12 years ago. It says, "We see the world as we are, not as the world really is." Um, so to question your perceptions, you need to realize first that your perception is in some way flawed. I don't mean that it's wrong, but I mean none of us sees everything. I've seen this really great picture. I think it was on a t-shirt where they had an object, let's say like these glasses, and what was it? It was like it's an 8. No, it's a 6 and a 9. That's what it was. A 6 and a 9. So one person standing on this side and one person standing on this side, and the person says it's a 6. No, it's a 9. Well, it's their perception and the side that they're looking from. That's really what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that everybody's opinion is completely right or completely wrong, or that you have no right to have a firm opinion. Just recognize what it is that can cause flaws and blind spots when you're working to think through things as you advance. You have to change your thinking before you change who you are. So, number two, let's talk about what that means in questioning our perceptions. Remember, these are not our deeply held fundamental beliefs. These are how we perceive a situation, a scenario, an opportunity, a business, a next step, all of that. So I'm going to use the example of student loans and some other things like debt, because I think debt is something almost all of us understand. People have various opinions. There's good debt, there's bad debt, all debt's bad, all debt's good. As long as you can make minimum payments, who cares? There's a lot of different thoughts. So I want you to think about all the different things you've heard about debt and your own opinion of debt. And now think about this. Student loans are freely given out, and the payments are deferred as long as a student is in school at least half time, at least the federal based student loan program. Private loans, many of them will also allow for deferred payment at a higher interest rate. Business loans, however, are short term and they're hard to get. They're higher interest rate. There's a huge amount of proof that has to go into them. And sometimes they're only a few months long, of like interest only like 6 months, and then this big balloon payment, meaning basically the rest of the loan is due. They only give you some money for a short amount of time. Now there's other kinds of loan programs. I'm speaking in generalities. I just want you to think about, why is a student loan given to an 8-year-old treated differently than an established business owner who's, say, 28 or even 25 or 22, who has, let's say, like a landscaping business. They've been mowing lawns since they were 16 and now they want to buy some equipment, expand out. They've got a clientele and they say, well, you don't have this and you don't have that. Why is it we do it that way? Why is it set up that way? And it's not they're all out against us. You need to think why they're doing that so that you know how to set yourself up better. Um, Apartment leases cost more than a house, but a house requires anywhere from 3 to 20% down, which cannot be borrowed even from family. I know there's some ways that you can work around this and certain stipulations, things, but as a general rule, um, so I can get into an apartment if I want to pay enough money on it. They don't care where it's coming from. But if I'm getting a mortgage against an asset that they could sell and take from me if I choose not to pay it, they make it almost impossible to purchase this. I can use a credit card. Let's say there's a credit card. I know this is huge, but let's say I have a credit card with a $20,000 credit limit. If I wanted to take $15,000 of that as a cash advance to put a down payment on a house, let's say, first of all, there would be a limit on the amount of the cash advance. Second of all, I would not get any of my like credit card points or rebates or anything like that. I would be charged a high rate of interest, and the interest would start immediately when I pulled the money out of the bank. If, on the other hand, I wanted to charge a $15,000 vacation, I could charge it the day my statement closed. So my statement closes, I get the statement by email and immediately go and charge that. And essentially, I have to pay nothing for 6 weeks. I get all of my points, I get all of my benefits, and I don't have to pay a touch of interest until after that next payment's due, which, because I waited until close, it would not show up on a statement for almost another month and then be due a few weeks after that. So I've got almost 2 months of freebie where I can come up with the money. So one would be an asset that would create a stream of revenue, the real estate. The other is a frivolous vacation I'm never going to get back. All right. So why are these two things treated differently? So we've got loans and and now our credit cards, I pay my credit cards off every single month and maintain a low, well, it's not really a balance. I don't use a whole lot of my credit card and then I pay it off every month. And so I get offers to take my credit card equity, if you want to call it that, and take out a low interest loan. So they're starting to shift that, but you don't get any points or anything like that. And the interest rate is usually like 8% instead of 28%, or at least that's what they were saying it was back in February. So think about this. The cost of higher education has outpaced inflation for decades and churned out useless degrees, while kids who want to learn to be in business are told they can't do a sales job without a degree. So somebody who wants to go into like entrepreneurship or something, and they just want to learn sales and do things, to get the higher end sales jobs, you have to have a degree. Like if you want to go into higher end sales. If you want to sell something other than things in a retail outlet. So these are realities, but you don't have to be limited. I want to give you an example of one of my kids back, this probably would have been about 2009, 8, 10, somewhere around there. It was quite a while back. And my daughter at the time would have probably been about 9 or 10 years old. And we had taken their savings bonds and cashed them out and used that to buy silver, because silver was really low. It was like $16 or $17 an ounce. Now, it's a lot more than it had been like in 2005 when I was selling ounces of silver for $5 a piece. I just cringe now to think about it. But my husband was going through chemo treatment, and one of his uncles gave us, I don't even know, like 50 ounces of silver, and said, you can sell these for like $3 or $4 a piece on eBay and get some money to pay for stuff. And so that's what I did. And then within 2 years, it was worth like 3 times as much. But anyway, we had sold her savings bonds and she had bought silver with the money that she had. And she also bought silver with some of her savings. And then it shot up to 50 or close to it. It was like $40 or $50 an ounce. And she sold some of it, and with it she bought this Barbie set, and it was like she wanted the Barbie swimming pool or horse, or the other way around. Her sister wanted the other part of it. So what my daughter did was, well, they're all my daughters, but what the one did is she used her silver that she had bought and had appreciated in value. She used that appreciation in value to purchase the Barbie set. She sold the part she didn't want to her sister, one of my other daughters, for almost the exact same price as she had paid for the whole set. And so she got her money back. She was thinking fluidly about money. So you can find a workaround. I have a quote out in my kitchen. It says, oh, what's his name? His last name's Roan, I think. If you want to do something, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. So the purpose of this topic today, sorry, my dog just realized somebody was outside. The purpose of this topic today is to try to get you to think about and question the things that you've simply accepted, and not to get mad and say, oh, it's not fair, it's all against this. Understand and accept the reality as it stands today and figure out how you can become successful in spite of that. On my next video, I'm going to be sharing about this newspaper and how that does exactly that for homeless people. So I hope you'll watch that. Click the like and subscribe and the bell so that you're notified when I post that up. I'm also going to be talking about, what's this say? I'm also going to be talking about some other examples of ways that people built up businesses when they had absolutely nothing. But today I wanted to start you thinking about some of the conventions that you might have already accepted and ask you to question those so that you can find a workaround for yourself. We'll talk about the workarounds on the next video tomorrow. I'll see you then.